Welcome to Credentialing Chronicles, where we spill the doctor's tea, honey, hotter than your morning coffee.
And we're spilling it across America, state by state and license by license.
Ooh, I'm Shannon, and honey, she is Nylene, and we are just a couple of sassy credentialing pros with front row seats to all this crazy chaos.
Yes, from coast to coast, fraud scandals to hospital drama they hoped you'd never find.
Yeah, but we find it, girl. So grab your coffee, your compliance checklist, and what, Nylene?
And let's get into it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, Nylene and Shannon sitting there talking about you while you pull up a chair. They holding every.
Okay, welcome back to Credentialing Chronicles. You all, today we are talking about the evolution of dentistry, baby, where clinical skills meets visibility, and a provider doesn't just build a practice, baby. They actually build a brand. So where smiles, transformations become signatures, patients travel across the country to see this woman. And a dentist steps into a space that blends healthcare, entrepreneurship, and influence. This is the moment that dentistry moves from beyond the chair, my love, and into the spotlight. Are y'all ready?
Yes, Shannon, I'm excited for this one. Dr. Austin, welcome to Credentialing Chronicles.
Oh man, we have been talking about this for months and we finally made it happen. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, Dr. Catrise Austin. We're so excited to have you here. And so I guess we could just really talk about, start it off with your claim to fame if you feel like we should.
And who you are.
Everybody, I'm Dr. Catrise Austin, better known as the Queen of Smiles. And I started my business in 1998. And from there, decided that I wanted to be the dentist to the stars. I was in New York City, in the New York City streets, hanging around all these celebrities. And I was like, you know what? If somebody's going to be fixing their teeth and getting the bag, why not me? So I built my brand as Dentist to the Stars, and I've gone on to work with some of your favorite artists like Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes and Toni Braxton and DJ Khaled and Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh, and most notably Cardi B when she said, "Got a bag and fix my teeth. Hope you hoes know they ain't cheap. Sorry if it's a family show." And boxer Clarissa Shields. I've worked with a lot of celebrities.
Oh, and so that's so awesome. And we're so glad that you're on and using this platform to educate. Because I did, we have checked you out on Instagram and all those things, and how you're using your brand for good and to help people. And so we are so excited that, that we are able to have you here. But did your demand increase overnight once you manifested what you were going to do?
Well, it must have, right? Because she is now literally known as what, Dr. Austin? The Queen of a Smile.
It just flows, right? It did. As soon as I got the clarity of how I wanted to position myself in the dental industry, the next thing that I did, I was like, well, how am I going to pull this off? And I decided that I needed to get some help, and that's when I hired a publicist. So my mom told me I met this publicist at a women's conference. She happens to be Eddie Murphy's publicist. Give her a call. She's in New York City. And I'm like, okay. So I cold called her, and she was like, I love your story. You're young. You're African American. You're like 26, 27. You're a woman in New York City against all these, well-known white male dentists, and you have got this big vision. I love it, but I charge $50,000 a month to do PR, so you may not be able to afford me, but I have a girlfriend that does PR. Her name is Renee Foster. She may be in your budget. So I called her. And she loved the story. She loved my vision. And she was like, girl, I don't have a dentist. So why don't I do your publicity and you just do my teeth? Make sure I have cleanings, checkups. And that's how I got my PR. And then she got me on TV shows. I'm in New York, so all the Good Morning America, written up in magazines. And that's how my business started to really get the visibility that I needed. So that is one of the pillars that I really, dentists are really bad at marketing and social media. But that, one thing, publicity, really, made me look like the go-to in my industry where my other competitors were not. They weren't doing the things and putting themselves out there and having other people validate them as the queen of smiles, as the best, as the go-to. So that's really how I started to build my brand and build it quickly. And that's what I teach people to do today.
Awesome.
But I will say, when Cardi B put that line in the song in 2016, that took it to a whole nother level. I mean, TMZ called my office. I got on TMZ, and that just like tripled my business.
Oh my goodness.
And having the right client validate you, woof, it took it over the edge.
And so, I mean, you got to tell us about that. How did it happen? Did she call you herself? I guess you were already getting this demand as the Queen of Smiles. And so when she needed somebody, she was like, I got to call the best.
So that one was through a personal relationship. The producer, she was on a show called Love and Hip Hop on VH1. And the producer of the show used to be a music industry exec and was the person that was sending me the Busta Rhymes. She managed all of those music acts. And then she started this production company and a TV show. So I already had the relationship with the TV producer. So she made that referral. So the relationships that you build along the way, you never know who can help you. And she already had the relationship with me. So I was the obvious choice when it was time for Cardi to get her teeth fixed on the show, because that was the one thing. She had this big old personality on the show, but her teeth were not perfect. And so when it was time to fix her teeth for season 2 of her being on the show, she said, you know what? I'm going to call Catrise and I'm going to link Cardi and Catrise. And then Cardi was so gracious enough. She said, I want this to actually air on TV. I want to put myself out there and show my teeth getting fixed. And that's what did it.
So you brought that out to your attention. So obviously Cardi said, yes, I want to blow this up. I'm going to be public about this part of my healthcare. But do you get some celebrities that are like, please don't talk about my experience with you, because maybe they have something embarrassing to protect yourself? Yeah, as far as like HIPAA laws, and what have you put in place to protect celebrities and also not violate HIPAA, right?
So for me, I decided I was doing videotaping and on social media well before it became popular. So I just incorporated it into my standard paperwork. There is a consent for photos and videos. I found that it was easier for me to ask just automatically than to verbally ask each person. So if they don't sign that paperwork, then I know that I don't have permission. If they sign it, it's already, I have the consent, and talk about anything, unless they tell me no. Cardi gave me permission, and we videotaped it, but here's the condition that she gave me. And I videotaped the whole smile makeover. The condition was, I don't want you to ever show the before and the after together. Like, once I do the smile makeover, I don't want to look back. I don't want any comparisons. I don't want any references to my old smile. And I've held up to that. Other people might show the before and after, but I never do. And that was the condition. Just put it in your consent form.
Yeah, put in your consent form. I mean, yeah, that's exactly right. It protects you every single time. So was Cardi coming with her insurance? I mean, do you take insurances, the big ones, Delta Debt? I mean, tell us, how does that work right now? I mean, or are you just like, no, baby, I need a bag. Insurance takes too long. They deny my claims,
Well, so let me see. I started dropping insurances probably.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I know. I started started dropping them about like 15 years ago. But when I did take insurance, if you were a celebrity and you had insurance, Actors Guild, a lot of celebrities have insurance. I would take it, and treat them. I treat celebrities like they're regular people. So if I took insurance and you had insurance, I'm using it. You run out of insurance, you got to pay out of pocket like everybody else. But I got to the point where I only wanted to do cosmetic dentistry, veneers, teeth whitening, clear aligners. Most of those services are not covered by insurance. So that put me in a position where I got paid. If you want this dental work by me, you're going to work out some kind of third-party financing, and I want my money at the time that I deliver the smile. Yes.
Exactly. And I wish really, there's something to be said, because healthcare is a service we provide, and dental care is extremely important to your overall health. And that's what they say. If you can tell us a little bit about how important really taking care of your teeth is to your overall health, not just what they look like, but how to care for them. But healthcare in general, sometimes, patients think that just because they have insurance, they don't have to pay anything. And the reality is doctors work really, really hard. And so dentistry in general, I've seen, has pretty much gone self-pay, or they make the patients submit the claims themselves to the insurance.
A lot of patients aren't really in favor of that. And, a lot of this comes with education, because they don't understand their insurance. They don't understand how it works. They don't understand how much we go through. Our overhead is, we struggle to keep it at 70, under 70%. So all they see is you're making a lot of money and, I don't need to pay you. When in fact, 65% of that goes right back out the door. And so it's very important as dentists to educate them on their insurance, for us to understand their insurance and explain to them when we are diagnosing them and they need that deep cleaning, but they want the regular cleaning that's covered at 100%, for us to say, listen, you have, these deep pockets and you're losing bone, you're losing fiber, and now we've got to, do a cleaning in each section of your mouth, and your insurance only covers 80% of that. It's up to us to educate, diagnose, educate, and then, be very clear on what their insurance is going to pay and not pay. And so that's the one thing I really prided myself on. And before you even think about a smile makeover, your health comes first. If you have gum disease, cavities, or anything advanced, I'm not doing a smile makeover, because the health is so important. You have to treat that first.
I used to be married to a man that worked in the cardiovascular field. And they say dental care is directly related to your heart care.
Absolutely.
It's so vascular in your mouth. So I can imagine. Okay, so now I wanted to say one thing really quick about insurance too, because you're not going to be able to go to the Queen of Smiles when the insurance only wants to pay the Queen of Smiles $70 on a visit. That is way more than that. And so again, it makes sense that as a doctor grows in their field, becomes better, becomes more sought after, that self-pay would be the way to go, because you would never be valued the way you deserve to be valued by all of these insurance companies, because they're trying to get their costs down. And so again, just patience. We always talk about that.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, that's what I'm telling dentists, the way you position yourself will directly affect the clients that you attract. So if you position yourself as a high-end dentist with great policies, and you are the authority in your field, you will command the patients that will understand your value, and price no longer really becomes the issue, because when they want you, like when we want that Louis bag or that great vacation, we're going to do whatever we got to do to get it, because we value those things.
So now that you say about value and cash pay, do then the celebrities particularly, do they go ahead and now expect perfect outcomes? And what happens when maybe the outcome isn't the way you really, really want?
Maybe they said they don't want the Queen of Smiles. Maybe they want like the Princess of Smiles. And so they try the princess out first. So I don't know.
The pressure is definitely on when you have built this reputation as the queen or the best or the authority in your field. Yes. And hey, listen, maybe a year and a half ago, Cardi went on Instagram and said, look, my tooth fell out, so, ish happens. Whether you're a celebrity dentist, you're a regular dentist, you're a regular patient, a celebrity patient, the mouth is ever changing. Things shift, things happen. You can bite into something the wrong way. So that's, again, setting expectations. When people ask me, how long are these veneers going to last? I'm like, I can't tell you how long your natural teeth are going to last. You can bite into a hard nut and it could crack tomorrow. I don't know. So it's just setting expectations, communication. Now, yes, I've had people that want to go to the Princess of Smiles to save a little money. And, sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So I have had to fix, a many smiles when people made the wrong choice. I will say that.
And you can still go to her. She don't even be mad. She said, come on over to the queen.
I'm the fixer. Yep.
So since you built this brand and you're so well known and you've really obviously continued to educate yourself and continue to maintain that higher expectation, what do you feel defines high quality dentistry?
So high quality dentistry just meets the standard of, it's what most 98% of dentists would do in a given scenario. And if you vary away from that, then it's not high quality dentistry. I mean, I really, to this day, and I have been in dentistry, wow, I just did the math. This is 2026. This is my 30-year anniversary, and I'm still learning, even with veneers. You will see me taking veneer courses, and I did my first veneers in 1999. I'm still learning because there's new materials, there's new ways of doing it quicker, better, faster. So I think when you are immersed in your field and you are learning and implementing what's new and what's hot in dentistry, that you're delivering the best care to today's standards, that gives you high quality dentistry. Customer service has a lot to do with it. The way you answer questions, the way you're available to your clients, from the first phone call to the experience in the chair, all plays into, quality dentistry, and having a solution to every one of their problems, whether it's money, they can't pay for it all at once, that you have payment plans. If you're afraid, well, okay, I have nitrous, I can give you a pill, I can have an anesthesiologist that can knock you out. All of those things plays a factor into quality dentistry. Solutions. If you have a solution to their problems, every one of them, that's quality care.
Do dentists come to you to train, to learn? Are you only in veneers now? Do you still do some dentistry? If there's please, I want you. Tell me, are you more focused?
Yeah, I decided, over a decade ago that I wanted to do, I would come into my office and I see a filling on my schedule, 9:00 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, a filling, that doesn't fulfill me. I would look at those things and it would really depress me. But when I see veneers or clear aligners or something, teeth whitening, I'm like, yes, I can't wait to, go in and do that. So I was like, I am the owner of this ship. I can design the dental life that I want. So why am I being mad that I have to do a filling? I'm just going to hire somebody to do the filling so I can do the dentistry that I love. It's already stressful. It's just already, it's already stressful. So why not do the things you love? If you're not, I suck at root canals. So I'm like, why am I going to sit here and struggle to do a root canal when there's somebody that went to school an extra 3 years to do that all day? So now I've learned to stay in my lane, do the things that makes me smile. And that's what I've done. So you come to me, you're going to get, what I am happy delivering and, that makes me happy. And when I'm happy, you're going to get the best result out of me.
Yeah, and that is actually a great credentialing advice for doctors in any specialty. Stay in your lane. And, when you do something really, really well, stay in your lane, There's so many specialties, particularly big ones like general surgery, right? But how general is your surgery, right? Or like internal medicine, right? It's so general, but maybe focus on something you're really, really good at. You know, are you good at the geriatrics part of it? You know, our general surgeon, are you good at the breast? Are you good at appendectomies? Like stay within the real lane that you feel good and you're safe. You practice safer and you provide better care. But listen, you do the veneers and you do the alignments and all of that. Okay. Talk about how important it was to pick the right lab to make what you want.
Oh my God. Patients out there think that like we make the veneers and we don't.
At home on a Tuesday.
We don't. Like, my job is to create the blueprint, to tell them I'm the designer of the smiles. Then there is a lab. These are technicians that are hand sculpting. Like if you go to the nail salon, they're taking for veneers. They're taking this powder and this liquid and they're literally hand sculpting each and every tooth. And it takes hours and hours to do each tooth. So you have to, and that's the difference between a $500 veneer and a $2,000 veneer. Does your dentist use the Picasso of dental veneers to make your, the artist to make your veneers, or are they using a cheap lab that the artists aren't really talented, so they are running a mill? They're just using someone that's giving you a basic shape or mold, or they're today, maybe they're just using a machine to digitally print and they're not even using a human. That's going to be the difference between a $500 per tooth veneer and a $2,000. Some dentists in New York, $4,000 per tooth. So that lab, I use Frontier Dental Lab. They have really branded themselves as the premier lab, and they do cost more for their veneers. And so I, tell people, if you want to know why my prices are so high, in your opinion, it's because I'm using the best lab. Now, I have this other alternative called near veneers, and they are digitally printed. I don't have to shave your teeth. They're digitally printed, and I can do those for $5,000 to $8,000. What's going to be the difference? A machine-made your veneers. They're going to look good. If just having square white teeth is what you're looking for, you want the look. But if you want the Cardi B look, where the teeth aren't just one color, it may be a little yellow at the gum line and then it gets whiter and then it gets translucent, or you want, the details of what natural teeth have, then I need that artist to make that, to hand sculpt your veneers and give you that look. So I literally have a price point for the people who want the look, that want veneers, and it's affordable, but you got to understand the difference. You're not getting a Cardi B smile at $5,000. You're going to have to pay Cardi B prices. And people start to understand that, but we have to, for us to educate them on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even just the veneers, right? Like you said, it's 70% of that $100 is going out to your office. So it's the technicians, it's the, all the instruments, the staff, the electric, it seems very extensive. I mean, you know what? It literally sounds like a sculpture, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that was really interesting. But, we are Credentialing Chronicles, so we do have to talk about some of the wildest things that you've seen in dentistry when it comes to fraud, fake providers, or just straight up bad work. And how does that make you feel?
People want these veneers so bad that I have had someone come in with fake ID. They got financing from Care Credit with this fake ID. I took one guy, he had all gold teeth. I took out all the gold, gave him these beautiful $2,000 per tooth veneers. He got approved for like $50,000 of Care Credit, but it wasn't his Care Credit line. So he's gone off into the wind with these beautiful teeth. And then the real person calls me and was like, my identity has been stolen. I contacted Care Credit. Care Credit contacts me and said, you got to give me the $50,000 back. Fraud.
No.
And they're telling me, well, why don't you contact the person that you met and tell them to give the money back? And I'm like, that's not going to happen. He's a fraudster. He's not giving he's got his teeth. He's not giving money back, but you want me to pay back your care credit, and like that was a very bad position. And I did everything. I looked at the ID, because with the care credit you're supposed to do that. You look at the ID. His picture was on the ID, so I had no idea that this was someone that stole identity. So that was the biggest thing in terms of fraud. I eventually did not have, credit card companies, they have protection for fraud. I ultimately got my lawyer. I didn't have to pay the money back, but that was scary. Because, I was like, I'm never going to see that person that I gave the teeth again. So I could be out of a lot of money. So I challenge dentists, when you are doing financing, make sure when you're doing dentistry, get the IDs, check, to make sure the person is who they are, and do the best that you get a copy of their license and keep those records, because it could come back to bite you in the long haul.
So the other thing, Dr. Austin, that I had talked about is, have you ever encountered or dealt with a fake dentist? And the only reason I say this is because I did mention this in one of my other episodes. I may or may not have known someone who went and had dental work in someone's garage. So have you ever seen that or had to deal with that?
Yes, I have. Unfortunately, we've all heard about these veneer techs. These people want veneers so bad that they're willing to go to unlicensed dentists. I had a patient 2 summers ago contact me. She had gone to several veneer techs and has spent over $25,000 with 3 veneer techs. And when she came to me, her gums were so inflamed that the gums covered her teeth. You couldn't even see her teeth. The veneers were ordered from China, from like a Temu or something like that. And the person that was applying the veneers, the glue was not removed underneath the gums. So there was glue underneath, the veneers were underneath, and it was a hot mess. So I had to, number 1, get her on antibiotics to start to clear up the infection. Number 2, I had to send her to a gum specialist to literally get the gums back to a healthy state. I had to remove all of the veneers that were placed to get that cement off, put her in temporary veneers, get her to the gum specialist. That costs thousands of dollars of gum surgery. We had to let it heal for like 4 to 6 weeks, and then I had to redo the whole mouth over again. And unfortunately, I had to charge her, money even after she paid $25,000 to these non-dentists. I felt bad, but I'm redoing, and I have to give you that, Picasso smile, and it costs. So I felt bad that she ended up having to pay, but I felt good that she wasn't embarrassed to come to me. I'm non-judgmental. I'm not going to shame you for making a bad decision. We all make bad decisions. So I didn't shame her. She felt comfortable, and we fixed it. And not only did we fix it, she was so gracious. Her name is Kia. We videotaped the whole thing because she wanted people to learn from her mistakes. So we videotaped the whole thing. I sent it out to the media, and ABC actually came to my office and did a whole hour special on it. So it was like a great learning lesson, a great, PSA and warning to other people, what can happen when you make a bad decision and you see someone in a basement or someone who's not actually licensed just to save a buck.
And the pain she went through. I couldn't imagine the pain she went through.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. And young girl in the entertainment industry, she was like, I knew better. I actually heard about you years ago, but, I was in Atlanta, and, they were all over the place. And, it was just easy for me to make that decision.
Teeth and bigger booties, I guess you could get real easy in Atlanta.
Yes.
So have you seen people, because I'm not going to call them doctors because they may not be doctors, use social media? Or do you get tagged on like crazy stories on social media where people are like selling these, China Temu type the teeth and veneers?
That's what I love about my position as a celebrity dentist, and everybody knows that veneers is my lane. So I have people almost every day when there's a veneer story. Last week, Miss Thailand, her teeth came out while she was on the stage.
Yes.
Everybody, anytime there's I know. And listen, honey, she walked down that runway like what? Honey, she owned that.
Wait, was that like a cover that she had, or did she? Were they veneers?
I don't think they were veneers.
What was the story?
Like those pop-on. It was either like a pop-on smile, like they look like porcelain grills. It wasn't veneers, but people like to call everything veneers now. But yes, I get tagged all the time because I have my podcast, Let's Talk Smiles podcast. And so people know to send me, I tell them, send me the stories because I want to talk about it. So yes, I get those kind of stories all the time. And yes, the veneer stories, they always tag me, and I put them on blast. I'm not afraid because I don't want people to make those mistakes.
I got a crazy story about today. I was talking to the girls at the hospital. I work at a rural hospital here, and I was, talking, oh yeah, we're going to talk to Dr. Austin or whatever. And so one of the girls says, I used to work for this dentist, and he used to do the weirdest thing. So apparently when he would remove a tooth that looked weird, he would save it in a can. Have you ever saved something weird on a patient?
Face.
Not really. No, I don't have that kind of fetish. No.
You don't have no teeth sculptures at your house in the foyer as people walk in?
I probably should have kept, a couple people's molars, like famous molars or something, and auctioned it off, or something like that. Like, this is, Busta Rhymes.
Right? It's the thing.
I wasn't thinking about that, but what? In the future, I might just do that. It may be worth some money.
We're opening revenue for you. Just get the release sign. We're opening doors.
But in the future, yes, I will.
What does your day look like? I mean, how many veneers do you do a week? Do you still go into the office at 9 o'clock? Do you train younger people doing veneers? What is it? Just give us a day in your life.
So I sold my dental practice officially in 2017 so that I could start my branding company, celebrity branding. So I'm more so, on a daily basis, helping other dentists build a brand like I did. So, because people always want to pick my brain. How did you do this? How did you build your brand?
Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm showing people the fame formula, how you can go from unknown dentist to being that girl, that go-to in your industry. However, if I do, I do a little bit of veneers. I just don't promote it like I used to. So if someone reaches out to me, and I still have people hit me on Instagram, I will rent an office space in New York or Michigan, and I'll go in and I'll do their smile makeovers.
So you keep your license active.
Yeah, so I can go. I have mobile equipment, so I literally go on location and I'll do somebody's scan and order their Invisalign, or we'll do the veneers on location. I did, DJ Khaled. I was in We the Best Studio doing his teeth. I will go on location and do teeth if I need to, or just rent a space.
But that's really amazing because you really set up your life to be able to work as you see fit. And that's an amazing gift to be able to give doctors. And again, just the title of our show today with Dr. Austin is how did you, from the drill to the brand? And it's just such a beautiful, transition for you to share that with us.
And even when I was in practice, I designed my life where I worked on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I worked from 9 to 6. Sometimes later, if a celebrity called, I'll stay late. But outside of dentistry, I have a life, people. I like to go out and travel and date and have fun. So I designed my life where, 3 days, you got me. I'm going hard hard in the paint. But after that, I live my life like a regular person, and I like to enjoy life, because a lot of dentists they make the office their entire life, and then they either find it hard to retire because their identity is tied to dentistry, or when they do retire, it's like, now what? When patients aren't acknowledging you as the go-to, now what? And so I had a little bit of that when I sold my business. It was like, okay, people don't rely on me for their teeth on a daily basis. Now, who am I? And it took me a good year or so during the pandemic to kind of figure that out. But I'm still a dentist at heart, but I have another life, and running it. I'm riding it till the wheels fall off.
So active in four states. You go mobile, and self-pay. So if you need anything, honey, as long as you can pay for it or go through a third-party financier, she's got you. And you got her. And I mean, literally, it's just, I just am so excited that we were able to connect with you. So we do a PSA in every one of our episodes. We do a little bit of advice for the doctors, for the medical staff professional, which I'm not sure if you work with them too much anymore, because you don't really have the hospital privileges, do you? Yeah, okay, I know, because you said you go there with your equipment stuff. But for medical staff professionals that are in the hospital still, and then for patients. So, I mean, if you want to pick one category, if you want to say one to each one of our audience, whatever you want to do, but advice, a joke, I mean, anything you got.
Yeah, before you let anybody touch your smile. So, for example, for a patient, before you let anybody touch your smile, what would you say to a patient in your professional advice?
Yes, before you let anyone touch your smile, make sure that you are comfortable with everything about them, from the care that you get over the phone to the care that you get in the chair. And do not be afraid. In my book, Porcelain Veneers Exposed, which you can get on Amazon, I tell you everything that you need to know before you get in the chair. Don't be afraid to Google and do some research and find, just learn a little bit about that dentist. When you get in the chair, don't be afraid to ask questions like, what lab do you use? How did you, when was the last time you took a course on veneers? Like, ask the questions, because if you ask me about, my last course or my credentials, I'm happy to tell you what I do, and I'm happy to give you that experience. So don't be afraid to ask questions, and if it doesn't feel right, you have so many choices. Find another provider.
Okay, to other dentists, anything you want to say to other dentists out there listening?
Yeah, what advice do you give to your peers?
Other dentists, if you aspire to build a life and a lifestyle in a dental practice like mine, just know that it's not always about being the best. It's about being the best known. So you have to really build your authority. You got to earn the general public's trust. And when you do, price will no longer be a variable. They will pay whatever to come and see you. You will have the high client, the patients that you love to have as, we all have those patients that we hate when we see their name on the schedule. You're like, damn, Mrs. Jones is on the schedule. You won't have to. Yes, you won't have to worry about that, because you're going to start to get the patients who love you, who value you, you love them, and you're going to love your practice. So make sure that you position yourself, the content that you put out on social media, that you're building trust, and people are getting to know, like, and trust you, and you will be able to command the kind of lifestyle, the kind of practice, the kind of exit that you desire. Because I say that your brand is a part of your exit strategy. And if you build your business right, you're going to see a couple more zeros at the end of that practice sale than you would if you did not have the brand of your dreams.
And I'd say for medical staff professionals, I'm just going to take something that you said a little bit earlier. Focus on what you love to do. And so if a doctor loves it, he's general surgery and he's amazing at taking gallbladders out, and then comes in and wants to start doing bunions, question it. I mean, you've been doing gallbladders for all these years. So what have we done now to start doing bunions? And I know that seems so funny, but I mean, when you are focused in something, a part of medicine that you love or dentistry, then you have so much of your attention there that it's really hard to kind of go off into other things and focus that much into other areas, right? And so just be aware of that as medical staff professionals if somebody comes in with a new privilege that they're requesting, right, Nightly? What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. So let's just do a little outro and basically saying, celebrities, they get you the attention. Skills are going to bring you, build your trust. And when the two meet, that's where then the real business begins. So we want to thank you, Dr. Austin, for coming on the show and exposing some secrets, and stay credentialed.
Not canceled. And just thank you so much for just, women supporting women on this platform. It means everything to us. And we will tag you and definitely put you everywhere where, we put this
I
out.
appreciate that you reached out after, seeing me on stage, and you really made me smile. And I just knew that we had to do this together. So I'm so excited that we made it happen.
That was a whole nation's worth of tea, girl.
Ooh, and we are just getting started. More states, more scandals, and definitely more receipts.
And if you love the tea we're spilling, you gotta comment, follow us, share, do everything. Where can they do all that at, Nylene?
They can follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, on all the things. And share it because the tea is going coast to coast.
Ooh, I love it. See you next time on Credentialing Chronicles. Remember, you got to stay credentialed, but not what?
Not canceled.